Lights, camera, and action.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast.
Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared. And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Okay, welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Again, like I said, I am really looking forward to this movie. I was already excited for this movie because I remember loving it.
I do not remember loving it.
Uh-oh. Why did we pick this one?
No, I liked it.
Oh, okay.
But also this one has been the longest since I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Because I had seen Lake Placid probably 2 or 3 years ago.
I love Lake Placid.
I love it too. So good.
Yeah.
Anaconda, I literally haven't seen probably 15, 20 years. Not even joking. Like it's like pretty much since a few years after it came out.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about what we remember about Anaconda. I think I went to the theater to see this. I rented it like day one, like when it came out on Tuesdays. I own the DVD. Ice Cube is awesome.
Yes.
John Voight stole the show.
With the worst Brazilian accent to ever grace the screens.
So good. Jennifer Lopez is hot.
I'll give you that.
The effects were awesome. This is 1997 saying.
Yeah.
Eric Stoltz. I remembered Owen Wilson from Bottle Rocket, but I think it wasn't until after this he did like Armageddon and Haunting, and then he really started to get big. And I don't know who else is in it, but I'm pretty sure everyone in this is a good actor as far as I can remember.
Really
like there are
people in it.
Yeah. What do you remember about it?
I remember thinking this is terrible. John Voight has the worst Brazilian accent ever. He did not work with anybody for that. He couldn't have for what it came out. Ice Cube, I was like, wow, he's surprisingly good.
Yeah, because I think it was one of his more.
It was one of his earlier things. Like this even might have been his first acting role. Like it was.
Had he done Boys in the Hood by this time? I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
I like all his movies actually.
No, he's a very, very talented actor, and one of my favorite movies of all time is Barbershop. I will watch that movie over and over and over again. It's one of my favorites. But I was really surprised at how good he was. I think he might have done Boys in the Hood before this. Maybe. Yeah, well, we'll find that out later. But I loved him. Eric Stoltz was great. I loved Owen Wilson's character. Jennifer Lopez. I mean, maybe this is a controversial opinion, or it's just something that not a lot of people say out loud. She is a great performer. She is a barely mediocre actor. So the fact that she's a lead in this movie, I was like, you ruin it for me.
I think this is one of her first, though, isn't it?
It's one of her earlier movies. I think she had done a couple things before this. Like she had done a television show. She's a passable actor.
Yeah, she's not Meryl Streep or anything, but I've always liked her movies. I don't think I've seen every one of her movies, but
it's funny because I've seen quite a few of her movies.
I know she was a fly girl on Living Color.
She was a fly girl where she was a pretty good dancer. Still not great, but she was pretty good. But Jennifer Lopez is a great performer.
Yes, because her singing career was before this, right? Or was it?
No, singing career was way after this.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so yeah, as a performer, because she can do everything. Like, I'm not saying she's the best or anything, but she sings, she dances, she acts,
oh,
she's
this movie came out the same year as Selena, which was the movie that really put her on the map.
I don't know if I've ever
So,
seen that.
oh my god.
Was it good?
Well, I loved it, but I love Selena, so it's based on a true story.
Was
It
that the
technically is.
underage girl with Jeremy Irons?
No.
Oh, okay, what am I thinking of? Oh, that's a way different movie. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bad movie. It's a
That's
bad movie.
sir.
Well,
Um,
Jeremy Irons, he's a good actor.
okay, so before this, Jennifer Lopez had done Blood and Wine, which is a weird movie. Jack, which was also kind of weird, but she played a
Robin
teacher
Williams,
and she was
Jack?
very yeah,
That's right, yeah.
and Money Train, and then she did some
Ooh,
oh,
Money
My
Train.
Family or Mi Familia, which was very popular. And then she had a couple TV shows. I think it South Central, she was starring in it. Hotel Malibu, I don't know if she was starring in it, but I think she was. So she had a couple TV shows that got canceled early, whatever. So she had a little bit of a name.
Right.
Selena really put her on the map. Like that's where she kind of became because Selena was an international music star.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, okay,
since
yes,
she
I did
did the
see it. I
biography,
have seen
yeah.
this, yeah.
So she did the biography of her. So then that kind of catapulted her. And then she
Right.
did Money Train, which also further pushed her star up.
Woody Harrelson.
She's still a barely mediocre actor, and that's fine. But she does what she needs to do in this movie. But I remember loving the snake, and I remember telling myself I was never going to go to Brazil.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's a couple of reasons, and you'll see them. Okay, so let's take a look at the box office. Okay, so it had a budget of 45 million. It opened at number 1 at 16.6 million, closed domestically with almost 66 and internationally 71. So it made 136 million dollars. And
Mhm.
then I'm sure with marketing all that it at least broke even or made some money. And then back then in 97 you have your rentals, your DVD. Like I said, I rented it. I own the DVD. I'm pretty sure it was not a previously viewed. I'm pretty sure I bought it new.
Mhm.
So it did okay.
I
A
remember it doing
financial
well.
success. So now let us go to yay tape.
Woo.
So Anaconda is a 1997 mystery thriller rated PG-13 and comes in at 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Interesting.
Here's some taglines. You can't scream if you can't breathe.
Actually, that's good.
It will take your breath away.
Also very good.
When you can't breathe, you can't scream. Did I not just say that? You can't scream if you
You
can't
can't
breathe.
breathe. And then this
If you
one's when
can't,
you
oh,
can't
they just
breathe, you
switched it
can't scream.
around. The marketing team was earning their dollars.
Oh, yeah.
It's a scream.
That's terrible.
Synopsis. Filmmaker Terry Flores, Jennifer Lopez, is traveling deep in the Amazon jungle looking for a forgotten tribe. Terry and her crew, which includes anthropologist Eric Stoltz, cameraman Ice Cube, come across Paul, John Voight, who is stranded on the riverbank. He offers to help them find the tribe, but his secretive behavior puts everyone on edge. They realize too late that he's using them to find a legendary anaconda that's worth a fortune if they can catch it.
Mm.
And the movie poster, which we've been just looking at the DVD one.
It was a great poster.
When you can't breathe, you can't scream. Yeah,
Very dark.
I do like that poster. That's a cool
Yeah.
poster.
All you can kinda see is, like, the section of the snake's face with the eyes, and I'm like, "It's wonderfully creepy."
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great poster. All right. Now my favorite. All right. So Rotten Tomatoes, 53 critic reviews put it at 40%.
Interesting.
250,000 plus put it at 24%. Anaconda's pulpy pleasures are constricted by its own absurdity, but creature feature fans may enjoy its brazen silliness,
Mm,
is our critic consensus. So you may start. We are going with Fresh.
I'm ready. This surprise hit is unpretentious and silly. It never forgets what it is, a campy Jaws clone. Rob Gonsalves, Rob's Movie Vault, original score B. Sorry, those very small print.
Yeah, I had a full screen mine here. Anaconda is a skillful, if hokey, horror movie that will seem both familiar and campy. Barbara Schilgasser, Common Sense Media, original score 3 out of 5.
Anaconda, directed by Luis Losa with all of the subtlety of a snake oil salesman, is in the great tradition of cinematic cheese as processed as craft single slices. Lisa Schwartzbaum, Entertainment Weekly, original score B minus.
Has a running theme here.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
The monster looks like a manacle garden hose in a couple of sequences. Still, it delivers the necessary thrills and chills. Carol Buckland, CNN.com.
Maniacal.
Oh, fuck. Why do I see it after I say it? Manacle. I don't even think it's a word. Oh, that's a manacle. Isn't that on a... Never mind. Let's
No.
continue.
Are you thinking
No,
about
it's not
monocles?
monocles. That's why I stopped.
In its natural habitat, Anaconda can be appreciated for its campy pleasures, not the least of which is John Voight in a delirious balls-out performance as creepy Paraguayan snake poacher Paul Cerrone. Peter Canavis? Am I
Sure.
sure? Groucho Reviews, original score 2.5 out of 4.
If you shut your brain down, you'll have some fun. John Venable, supercala.com. Voight's performance alone is absurd enough to merit the film a look. Walter Chaw, Film Freak Central, an intelligently stupid creature flick, not to mention one hell of an enjoyable one.
Nice. It's a slick, scary, funny creature feature, beautifully photographed and splendidly acted in high adventure style. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, original score 3.5 out of 4. Damn, that's high.
Yeah, and that's surprising.
Yeah.
All right, rotten.
Kick it off.
One never questions the realism of the remarkable animatronic and computer generated effects, but it's hard to credit a snake that screams. Derek Adams timeout.
That's good.
A little bit of trivia that I didn't put in it. Frank Weller. Is it Frank
Mhm.
Weller who does Scooby-Doo?
I think so.
Weller or Welker? He does the snake noises.
Welker, Frank Welker.
Frank Weller.
I was disappointed. Morty Mapes, Movie Habit, original score 2 out of 4.
What more do you need to say?
You don't need to say anything else.
To be honest, this is a 1-star movie, but I'm granting it an extra star because it made my face hurt from laughing. Rob Blackwelder, Spliced Wire, original score 2 out of 4.
That's fantastic.
Oop, did it? Hold on. Yeah.
It's been quite a while since we've had a good old-fashioned monster movie, and apparently it's going to be quite a while longer. Chris Hicks, Deseret News.
That's awesome. I cannot give the film a high rating, but it was watchable, and between the snake and Voight's performance, I did not feel cheated. Mark R. Leeper, Rec Arts Movies Reviews. That's actually not a bad review, really.
Yeah. A silly and plotting Jaws ripoff about a 40-foot man-eating snake on the prowl in the Brazilian rainforest. Joe Layden, Variety.
A lot of Jaws ripoffs. We watch a lot of Jaws ripoffs.
Apparently every movie is a Jaws ripoff if there's a giant animal in it.
Fans of the horror genre may be tempted to check out Anaconda. Don't. Edward Johnson, Nouveau News Weekly, 1 out of 5. Anaconda is about a snake that eats everybody. That's about says it all. Mick LaSalle, San Francisco Chronicle, 1 out of 4. One of the horror films that intends to be serious, scary, and bloody, but turns out laughably hokey. Mike Massive, Gone with the Twins, 3 out of 10. IMDb.
We're in the top 10.
108,000 user ratings. So there was a
Wow.
lot. There was a lot to choose from. 4.9 out of 10. Let us do the 10 through 6 positive user ratings. You may start.
Oh, thank you. This movie actually inspired me to go to the rainforest. 10 out of 10. H. Joseph Mack.
I don't know if he's being serious or that was like, but the fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
why would you go to the rainforest after watching
After
this
seeing
movie?
that, yeah. Brilliant. The snake reminds me of my first wife. 9 out of 10, Pog 53. That's awesome.
Snake-tastic. 8 out of 10. Videorama 759-859-391.
That's a lot of numbers.
It is.
There were a lot of snake-tastic, that type
Yeah.
of things, yeah. How many Hollywood actors does it take to fill an anaconda? 7 out of 10, BA_Harrison.
It's fantastic. My anaconda don't. My anaconda don't. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. 6 out of 10. Morrison Dillon fan. That's one of my favorite songs too.
Oh. Whether you're laughing at it or are we on that? Was that 6?
That was 6, my
That
friend.
was 6. Okay. So now we will go to the not so good ones. Whether you're laughing at it or with it, at least you're laughing. 5 out of 10. One guy rambling.
I am sorry to say this, but it's hysterical. 4 out of 10.
So
Broadsword, Colin Danny Boy.
it was bad, and you got a really long freaking name. You know, if you pretend you know what's going on, this is actually pretty exciting. 3 out of 10. Smells like cheese. I'm pretty sure we've seen this guy's review more than once.
Now I know what truly awful can mean. 2 out of 10. Gavin 6942.
And oh yes. Ready? These are the 1 out of 10s. Sucks. Tab 58. Hiss off by PMOV. So bad. Mameros. So it's true. Jennifer Lopez really can act. I like that one. And the last but not least, not enough sharks. X of 10, 1 out of 10.
Fantastic.
Oh, I love IMDb. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see if the trailer. Tell me if you can hear this.
Double check your gear. Make sure it's all on board. And pray you didn't forget your bug spray.
They have come to the world's most isolated jungle to explore the unknown Amazon.
You ready?
I think so.
And conduct scientific research to prove the existence of a long-lost tribe.
Shama worship giant snakes. Anacondas as gods protect us.
What is this?
Anaconda skin.
Is snakes out there this big?
This skin is 3 or 4 years old. Whatever shed it has grown since then.
Snakes don't eat people.
Oh, they don't?
That's it, man. I'm getting the hell back to LA.
It's always good to be prepared.
Now, they are the ones being watched.
Do you hear that?
The ones being followed.
Nobody move.
The ones being hunted.
There's something down there.
That's right.
No, I really mean it.
I really mean it too.
But not by anything human.
That's from the float.
If we help him, then he will help us get out of here alive.
Get on the face!
You're gonna get us all killed!
It's coming down!
Anaconda. When you can't breathe, you can't scream.
That was a good trailer.
That was a good trailer. That looked like Dan. Is Danny Trejo in this?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. I love Danny Trejo. Yeah, no, that looked good.
Yeah, no. I feel like I should justify because I pointed out a lot of things I did not like about this movie, but I actually like the movie itself. Like,
Yeah.
I remember liking it, and I remember thinking it was a fun time. And just not a very good movie, but I liked it. So I'm excited to watch it again after so long.
I'm excited. It looks good. I noticed a lot of things with the the similarity between the good reviews and the bad reviews. That
Mm,
this is a B creature feature. It's a
yeah,
little absurd, but fun.
a little campy, but a good time.
There's not enough sharks.
And Jennifer Lopez really
Yeah, I
can't
think,
act.
and Jennifer Lopez really can't act.
I like how that was the review. Also, it looks like Owen Wilson is playing Owen Wilson, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Owen Wilson's best when he's playing Owen Wilson.
100%.
All right. Well, we both think we're going to like it.
Mhm.
We are going to go watch Anaconda and come back and see if we actually like it as much as we remember.
Here's
So
hoping I'm
let's
still
go.
entertained.
Yeah, it looks good. Well,
Yeah. I'm
we'll
I'm
go.
going for pure entertainment. As long as I'm
Yes.
entertained and engaged, I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You heard them. Movie time. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat, and then watch a classic kick-ass movie from whenever the one we're about to watch was made.
How's it going?
It's going okay. I completely lost track of time and almost was late.
Yeah,
So,
so did I actually.
I was like, "What time? 8:57? Oh, jeez." But I showed up. I'm very proud of me.
Yay.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you rent Anaconda? Did you
I
find it?
rented Anaconda because I went searching and I could not find it. Mind
I
you, I
couldn't
didn't look on YouTube for a free one.
I
Um,
couldn't find it either and I bought it.
no, that makes sense for you. But I was like, I remember liking it, but not loving it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not gonna buy it. So I rented it. I mean, it was $5. I'm not mad. Well worth the $5.
All right. So, welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are so happy you stuck with us. I have watched Anaconda. Have you, Anna?
Why, yes, I have.
What are your initial thoughts?
Um, I liked it. I did not love it. It
Uh,
had the potential to be beloved, but it did not reach it.
like I said, I bought this movie. It was
Mhm.
because it was the same price as the digital version. And
Mm.
it was kind of an impulse thing because I didn't buy I actually bought the physical copy. It's upstairs. And it was kind of an impulse thing because I was out and I saw it and I'm like, oh my God, because I couldn't find it. So I knew I was gonna
Yeah.
have to rent it. And I'm like, well, I might as well just buy it. Because I kind of kicked myself. Oh no, because I streamed Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea was it had some shortcomings, but
Mhm.
overall it was a great movie.
Yes.
That one that I would definitely watch again. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this one. The Blu-ray, the transfer rate sucked.
Mhm.
Like it looked meh. Like there were no special features on it. Nothing. It
Oh,
was
that's
just
disappointing.
yeah. So I was kind of like, what the fuck? But yeah, I kind of agree with you. It was a fun midnight B movie
Mhm.
that doesn't reach that certain plateau.
Yeah. Came
Uh,
close
it
ish.
had a lot, yeah, had a lot of great moments.
Yes. A lot of great
Um,
moments, but just not enough to keep me fully in it, you know?
Now I have found in my rabbit hole of when I was setting up Anaconda stuff, there are John Voight pictures. Like you can get different size canvas art of his Paul Cerrone
For real?
character, and that one where he's kind of like looking at everybody all weird.
Where
And
he's
I'm
giving
like,
stank face?
yeah, and you could also get it for like the back of your phone,
Oh my
like
god.
a phone.
A phone cover? Phone
That's it,
case?
case.
Yeah.
But the wall art, I've been looking at it. I've gone back and I'm like, I might buy that just for this, just because I do have that
Yeah.
thing where I put my Jason stuff. Once I get the other room done, I'm going to use it a lot more, and I'm like, that might be a perfect piece to.
See, I'd buy it for a bathroom directly across from the
Oh,
toilet.
just looking at, and it's
Just
him,
staring at you.
and it's like you're looking at it. It's like it looks like he's looking at you too. I'm like, that's awesome
Exactly.
because he made this movie
The amount of faces he made and
so
just the
over the top.
melodrama and
Oh,
the oh god. It was like, what? And I also want to know how much they paid Eric Stoltz for this movie.
not a lot, I don't think, because he
God,
wasn't
I
in it a
hope
whole
not,
lot.
because he was asleep for 90% of it.
Yeah, like it was a pretty easy role.
Right? He just had to have Jennifer Lopez whisper sweet nothings to him for most of it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And this was definitely, you could tell this was one of her first. I don't know what order it fell into, but she got better. I'm not saying she's like an amazing actress, but I think she's very competent actress. I do like most of the movies I've seen her in,
Yeah.
most of them. She got better because she
No,
was not great in this movie.
God bless. But you know what? You know who also has gotten better but was actually really good in this movie? Ice
Ice
Cube.
Cube, yeah. Ice
Killed
Cube's
it.
awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
I've loved him forever. Like
Yeah.
from the very beginning when he was just a very angry rapper.
Oh
And now
yeah.
that he's a very angry actor, I love him too. Like he's just
Oh,
forever and ever.
I lived out in the middle of nowhere, a white kid with no ethnicity around me. It was all white.
Mm.
And yeah, I was into NWA and
Who isn't though?
it was
Who
awesome.
isn't?
And then I loved all his movies, like whether it was Are We There Yet? Or yeah, he's fun. He makes fun movies.
Yeah, and he's awesome in interviews. I love watching him in interviews, especially
Yeah.
now that his son is an actor too.
Yeah. He was in Cocaine Bear. He was awesome in Cocaine Bear. And he was awesome in Straight Outta Compton,
Yeah.
where he played his dad.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube he's a good interview, but he just doesn't give a fuck what he says.
He really doesn't, and that's
No.
what makes him the greatest of interviews for the viewers. I'm sure producers are sitting there going, "God, please just answer the question." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Fuck that shit." And I'm like, "Thank you, Ice Cube. Thank you."
But I bet you he was one of the ones that was afraid of snakes.
Oh, probably.
Because I was wondering because we did that trivia and it said that it took a lot of time and there were a lot of breaks because the crew and a lot of the cast were deathly afraid of snakes. And I was thinking like they're animatronic snakes. What the fuck and they're CGI. I kind of forgot how many
Yeah.
snakes were actually in this movie.
They keep fucking showing up, and I was not happy about that.
Yeah, there was a lot of snakes, like
Yeah.
real snakes.
Yeah, just like squirming around, and I'm like, no, don't do that.
All right, let's go through the movie.
Yes.
On the Amazon River, a poacher hides from an unknown creature in his boat. While it breaks through the boat and attempts to catch the poacher, he commits suicide by shooting himself to prevent the snake from killing him. First, before we went and watched this, I was excited Danny Trejo was in this movie. FYI, listeners, Danny Trejo dies in the first 3 minutes. That is all the Danny Trejo Jimmy got. Not a good start for Jimmy.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
so mad.
It took me a hot second to figure out it was him. I was like, oh, you look very different.
I also remarked to no one because no one wanted to watch it with me. Look how young Danny Trejo looks.
So young.
He was 53 when he shot this movie.
Okay, that man made a deal with the devil. I'm 100% certain because he doesn't age.
No, like
now you can see he's aged from this movie.
Yeah, he's like 100.
But from when he became like really famous to now, he looks exactly the same.
And and I was like, God damn, he was 53 when he shot this. And it's like, I don't know how many movies he did before Anaconda, but it's like he was just starting out at 53.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, he had a whole ass life before he started acting. He's like Helen Mirren.
Yeah. But other than it killing the awesome Danny Trejo, it was a good opening scene. The whole snake trying to get up through the floor and the nails just shooting up into the air into his eye line. And if there was no chick or kid to toss the anaconda, I'd probably have done the same thing and shot myself. That's why you always got to have a kid.
Oh my god.
A kid or a smaller person that you can overpower and throw to the monster.
A smaller person you can over.
It's like that saying, I don't have to outrun the monster. I just have to outrun you.
Yeah.
Or push you to the ground and run away.
Or shoot you in the leg and run
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're in a horror situation, you don't want to look across the room and see me. You're like, that guy right there, fucking watching.
Yeah, you don't want to see me either because I'm the final girl. So you know if you're
Yeah,
in the
you're
room
the-
with me, you're gonna die. It's fine. I'll try and help you though. Not like Jimmy.
Yeah, no.
Jimmy gonna let you die.
No. Jimmy looks out for Jimmy. Meanwhile, a film crew is shooting a documentary about Shirishamas.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's what they.
Shirashama.
I
Tribe,
I think John Voight pronounced their name 7 different times, 7 different ways.
We'll talk about his accent in a hot second.
Oh, he's awesome. A long lost indigenous Amazon tribe. The crew includes director Terry Flores. That's Jennifer Lopez. They didn't put this in the plot here. That's Jennifer Lopez. Cameraman and childhood friend Danny Rich, Ice Cube. Production manager Denise Kohlberg. Oh, I forgot her name.
Carrie
Moore. Yeah. Denise's boyfriend and sound engineer Gary Dixon. Owen Wilson. Narrator Warren Westridge. Oh crap! Sorry, Warren. He's a great actor.
He's so good.
Jonathan Hyde. Anthropologist Professor Stephen Kale, and that is Eric Stoltz, and boat skipper Mateo. Mateo. And what a great cast. Eric Stoltz, Ice Cube, Carrie Wooher, Jonathan Hyde, Owen Wilson. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a small cast, but it was a lovely cast. I'm not mad at the cast.
No, and we get an idea of who everyone is, what their characteristics and personalities are, and it's a quick scene, but it sets the characters up very quickly. Yeah. Like you get an idea of who will probably get eaten first, who might survive just by that scene alone. And we get to see the boat, which is almost a character itself. Like, what a fantastic way to travel. Like I would go on one of those boats. That would be awesome. Not in the Amazon where they were.
Well, fuck
like,
no. But a refurbished boat like that?
Oh, yeah.
100. I'd live on that shit. 100%.
Yeah. Not down south, not a bayou, nothing where snaky
No,
or
no alligators, no crocodiles, no
fresh
piranhas.
water. Nothing with the ability to kill me.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid.
The group encounters stranded Paraguayan snake hunter Paul Cerrone. Is it Cerrone? Cerrone.
Sure, we'll say Cerrone.
Who convinces them he can help them find the Shimishamas. I don't care what anyone says. John Voight is awesome and makes this movie just by the overtopness, the badness. If he wasn't in this movie wouldn't be half as good.
It wouldn't be half as entertaining.
It wouldn't be half as entertaining.
And it wouldn't cause you to be as invested because I have never rolled my eyes and screamed at the screen so much. You guys are from the hood. You should know better.
Yeah. Look at this guy. Like I made a. Where's my note? I made a. John Voight is the true villain, not the Anaconda.
True.
Over the top, overacted, over everything. Yeah, he's everything. Just.
Also, he couldn't seem to decide on what accent.
Nope.
He wanted.
He had
to
a
have.
few. He had a few of them.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds Brazilian. Then that sounds Hispanic, but I don't know if it's Paraguayan or like South American. And then there were a couple where I was like, is that even like Latin American at all?
No, a couple of them sound European.
Yeah, there were a couple where I was like, sir, what are you doing?
It's like he didn't practice at all and just started that day.
He was like, Paraguay, I can do this. And that's all he did. That was all of his research. Oh, God.
Most of the crew are uncomfortable around Cerrone. No shit. Kale, Eric Stoltz, clashes with him several times about the Shirishama lore. This guy might as well have been wearing a red flag.
He was a walking red flag.
Yeah. And it should have had on the front, I'm going to either kill you on the front of
Yeah.
"I'm going to get you killed" written on the back of that shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The creep factor that oozes from this guy. Like,
There
even
is
when he
so
wasn't
much
speaking,
there
just
is
his
so much
look.
wrong with him. So much wrong with him. So what do? They start listening to him about where villages are, about where the hospital is, about which
Yeah.
direction they should go. I'm like, "Why are you listening to the walking red flag?"
Yeah.
There is
Yeah,
something wrong with him.
if I was in a room alone with him, all you would hear was, "I need an adult. I need an adult. I should not be left in a room alone with this man."
Stranger danger.
Yeah. Run and tell. Eventually, Kale is stung by a wasp and an allergic reaction swells up his throat and leaves him unconscious. Okay, so if you haven't seen the movie, the boat is chugging down the river.
Mhm.
And actually, the cinematography is very well done. It is
It's beautiful.
gorgeous.
There are
Yeah.
some absolutely gorgeous shots throughout this movie.
Yeah, this total like if you we're nerding out here, but yeah, the cinematography is very nice.
Mhm.
Exterior shots of surroundings, yeah.
Gorgeous.
But the rope holding the fuel gets caught in the propeller and stalls the boat. So Eric Stoltz's character Kale has to dive into the water and untangle it. This is where we get the story of the kangaroo. We
Mm.
covered this in our trivia section, which won't be in the podcast, it'll be on the clips. That is only on our live broadcast every Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we record the podcast live. But the kangaroo, we learned, will swim up your urethra, put its spikes out to lodge itself, and it can't be removed. You have to go in and cut it out. So Kale jumps in, and I will admit those shots of
Mm.
all around him, and
Yeah.
he's a little nervous. They were great shots. They were
They
creepy
were.
as hell
They
because
were.
it was clear yet still kind of murky.
It was very murky, yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
Anyways,
foggy, yeah.
yeah, and he starts grabbing his throat and makes it to the surface. Ice Cube and Owen Wilson jump in to get him.
Okay, but can we talk about how long it took everybody to fucking 1, notice he was in trouble,
Yeah.
2, jump into the water, 3, actually do something about him,
Yeah.
like, choking. Like, I was like, "No, I want none of you around if it's an emergency. None of you."
No, well, they are a film crew. They're not no first. And you'd think on something like this, you'd bring someone with a little first aid training. You are in the Amazon
Right?
jungle. Like, that's
Like, bring someone who has, like St. John's ambulance first aid training.
yeah.
One person that passed the course.
But lucky for them, Saronas performs an emergency. What is that called?
Tracheotomy.
Tracheotomy, seemingly saving Kale's life, but soon after takes over the boat, forcing the crew to help him achieve his true goal, hunting down a giant record-breaking green anaconda he had been tracking, which he believes that he can capture alive. So Cerrone, John Voight, does the old cut to the throat, pen to help the breathe trick, which I've been told on more than one occasion, repeatedly, no matter how many times I objected with but not to do it to another human being in all my first aid classes. And I have to take them regularly. But what if, no, Jimmy, no, do not try to do a tracheotomy. Fine. Earlier, he tried to get them to take a different route to find this tribe. And Kale, being an anthropologist, said he knows a thing or two about tracking tribes, and they go the original route. So now Cerrone is like, we need to get him to a hospital, and to get him there quicker, we need to go this way, which is the same route he wanted to go. Everyone is a little
Funny that.
suspicious. Yeah. And then even Jennifer Lopez character is like, well, we don't have much of a choice.
Yes, you do.
Danny, yeah, you do. You always have a choice.
You have way more choices. You could listen to Mateo, the captain, and say, "Hey, Mateo, where do you think we should go? Don't look at the crazy man. Where do you think we should go?"
Now, Danny and Mateo and Cerrone search the wreckage of the poacher's boat. So now they come across the boat at the beginning of the movie where Danny Trejo was so criminally taken away from us in the
Yes.
opening minutes. And Cerrone sees a picture of him, Mateo, and Trejo news clipping and hides it. And then he finds his snake catching gear. A photo. Oh, sorry. The plot actually did have this. A photograph in an old newspaper reveals that Mateo, Cerrone, and the poacher were working together to hunt animals, including snakes. Leaving the poacher's ship, Mateo falls into the water where the giant male warrior anaconda, measuring 25 feet, that's 7.6 meters, attacks and kills him, while Danny and Cerrone return to the boat unaware of Mateo's fate. This was kind of a bad scene. Like, yes, it shows Cerrone doesn't give a fuck, but Mateo obviously knows a bit about hunting if they have been hunting together.
Yeah.
It would have been better if they saw Mateo get killed or heard it, and when Ice Cube went to go back, Cerrone could have been like, "We'll only get ourselves killed." Like, because
There's a lot of not talking about how dangerous this is, and I get why, because Cerrone doesn't wanna tell anyone, so they'll go along with his cute little plan and just do what he says.
yeah,
But I'm worried that they weren't more worried about Mateo. It was
yeah.
just, I can't find him, and he comes back with an extra flashlight, and they just keep going, and I'm like, I feel like that's a little bit of a plot hole.
Well, no, because Lopez, they stayed the night waiting for
They stayed the
Mateo to
night waiting,
come
but nobody
back.
goes out to look for him.
No, I wouldn't. Like,
Well,
fuck you, Mateo. I wanna go get my kid.
we
I'm not gonna
know
go get
you
Mateo.
wouldn't. You wouldn't look for anybody. We know this.
Yeah. Jimmy, I
You
think your
get
kid's back there. No, we gotta leave them. They're gone. No, I can see them. They're right there. No, it's too
Nope,
dangerous.
it's too much. It's too far. It's just too far gone. We can't go. Um, so we're gonna pretend like you're not in this movie,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and we're gonna pretend like I am in this movie. We'd go looking for Mateo, not you, me,
Right.
and my peoples. We wouldn't just be like, we're just gonna hang out for the night,
Yeah. See if he shows up.
see if he shows up.
Because
Because
even what's his name is like, where do you think he went? Warren. He's
yeah,
like, wake up. Where do you think he went for a stroll?
yeah, he's like, sweetie, this is not. And here's the thing. Okay, so Jennifer Lopez is playing a director,
Yeah.
which means she would have been in, but then Carrie Wurr, Denise, is the production manager.
Who would most likely be the one in charge?
She's the one in charge of schedules, budgets, etc. This is going to affect your schedule and your budget. If
Yeah.
the captain of the boat you're on goes missing,
Yeah.
you find that captain because you're thinking about invoices, you're thinking about deadlines. The, she should have been the one to be like, no, 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 we need to explore, we need to find him. I can understand why Terry was like, "We'll wait the night. It'll be fine," because directors always don't care about things like
Yeah.
schedules. So I had a problem with, "We're gonna stay the night,"
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then it didn't actually do anything for the story either.
No.
Like, them staying the night was just, like, Terry gets woken up in the morning, it's like, "He's not back, we need to get going."
Yeah. And
Also
John Voight got to just sit around and look all creepy.
yeah, and Eric Stoltz is still unconscious
Yeah,
after
there was
being
still that thing about getting him to the hospital.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, and you apparently Terry Flores apparently loves him and is like, "I missed you." So why are you so slow to do anything?
Yeah.
That I have a logic problem with.
Yeah, this was a huge one of this
Yeah,
movie.
because I was like, nobody's in a rush. Emergency tracheotomy with a dirty pen, a dirty knife, and a bottle of whiskey. But we're not gonna rush him to a hospital?
Yeah.
Eh. That was a logic problem for me.
Cerrone promises that if the crew helps him find the snake, he will help them get out alive. Everyone was against this idea except for old Warren Westwood, who was like, "Wake up, bitches!" Because Jennifer Lopez was like, "We're waiting until Mateo gets back," and Cerrone is like, "He's dead," and she's like, "You said we'll wait," and Warren's like, "Fuck Mateo, let's go." That would have been me. Um,
You would have said it before Cerrone. You would have
yeah,
said it before every
yeah.
"Fuck
Before I
Mateo, let's go."
guess Mateo's not coming back. Let's go. That night, Cerrone convinces Gary Owen Wilson to help him film it, make a fortune, and Gary, against his girlfriend's protest, decides to help Cerrone. So that night, the Anaconda attacks the boat crew. Cerrone attempts
Mhm.
to capture the snake, but it coils around Gary, crushing him. Terry attempts to shoot the Anaconda to save him, but Cerrone knocks her gun away, and the snake devours Gary, leaving a heartbroken Denise in tears. The crew overpowers Cerrone and ties him up as punishment. I like the Anaconda kill scene, this one.
I do too.
Yeah, even if a lot of the CGI was pretty bad.
Oh, the CGI was terrible,
Horrible.
but it's also like 1997 CGI, so I'm not even that
Yeah.
mad at it. I was like, "This is beautiful, I love it." I love the Anaconda kills after Mateo.
Yes, yeah, after Mattel. Like, when
Yeah.
it came out of the water with Owen Wilson was still alive
Yes. You
and
could hear him
gasping
take
for
a
breath.
gasp.
Yeah,
Oh god, that was so good.
like, "Oh, that
Yeah.
would suck." And when the snake is swimming and the
Yes.
belly, the outline of the face, the mouth wide
Yes.
open like he was there screaming. Yeah, because that's when you first heard the snake scream. And I would have leaned harder into the silliness. I would have had his mouth moving and hands moving when he was in the
Yeah.
belly. Yeah. And Cerrone is now full on nuts, ordering everyone around.
Mm.
Like, it's obvious if the snake doesn't get these people, he's not letting you out of the jungle. Like,
No.
yeah. So they overpower him. The next day, the boat becomes stuck at a waterfall. Okay. We'll go back a bit. Lopez and Ice Cube get this and hatch a plan. No, what happened? This
Um,
plot missed a bunch here.
so
Tie him
basically,
up as punishment.
they tie him up, but it's when I think he went no, before that, Lopez tries to
That's right. Okay, so before they tie him up, he's ordering everyone around. They hatch the plan. Lopez gets all dolled up,
by
comes on
putting
to
on
Cerrone.
lipstick.
Yeah. Who admits it's been him and Mateo and Danny Trejo for a long time. But as Lopez and Voight are making out, Cerrone sees Danny, Ice Cube, sneaking
Mhm.
up on him, knocks Danny down, continues to make out with Lopez some more, and then tosses her to the side. This is a villain, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Like, he is great. But Warren is behind him and knocks him out with the golf club.
Mhm.
Warren actually suggests to keep whacking him with the golf club. Ice
Yes,
Cube suggests throwing him into the river.
and
And it
everybody should have listened to them.
Yeah, and it's Lopez, abroad, I might add. Haven't we had enough violence?
I can tell you with very much sincerity that if I was on that boat, I wouldn't have listened to her, and I would have been like, "Fuck you, we're throwing him off.
I think
We're gonna
most
keep him tied up,
I think most people, male or female, would be like,
attach
"You know what?"
something heavy to him, and
And
drop him in
throw
the
him in the
river,
river. Yeah.
and then we're gonna go on our merry little way."
But yeah, Jennifer Lopez ruined it for everybody.
She really did, but I mean, the movie had to keep going. It was very short at this point, you couldn't stop the movie.
Yes, yeah. And that's where I made the note here. How did she become the de facto leader? She
'Cause
was
she's
a
the director.
director, and she used to be a fly girl on Living Color. That's my note.
Well, she did the Roger Rabbit, and then everybody was like, "Well, of course we have to follow her."
Yeah, yeah. So now he's tied up. They go up the river and they see a waterfall.
Mhm.
The next
Beautiful.
day, the boat becomes stuck at the waterfall, requiring Terry, Danny, and Westridge to enter the water to winch it loose. That was a good plan, actually.
Yeah.
Denise confronts Cerrone and attempts to kill him to avenge Gary's death. But this plot, it just says to avenge Gary's death, but he strangles her with his legs before dumping her corpse in the river. He leaps while tied to the thing,
Yes.
leaps up high enough around her neck and breaks her neck.
I was like, "Oh,
John
Cerrone
Voight's the
knows
man.
jujitsu." This is me, I was like, "Cerrone knows jujitsu." For, like, a
Yeah,
hot second, I thought capoeira, but then I was like, "No, no, no, this is Brazilian jiu-jitsu." He still looks kind of but I was like, he literally leaps off the ground by, like, 6 feet, wraps his legs around her neck, and I was like, "Impressive."
very impressive.
But and immediately her
Cat
first
like.
thing is, "I'm gonna drop the knife." I'm like,
Yeah,
"No, girl, that's when you grip harder and you start stabbing his leg."
yeah.
But, I mean, whatever, it's fine. She was probably very surprised by the whole, leaping into the air and
I would be.
but yeah, it was very I was like, "What?" And then he kills
I'd
her,
be like,
and I was
"No,
like,
Paul
"Oh, girl."
Cerrone's penis, get it away from me."
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Ew.
That would be, yeah.
Sorry, I literally just had a thought about that, and I was like, oh
Oh, I
god."
didn't want you to go deeper into that thought.
My first thought was how long since it's been washed? Like, that was my because these people are nasty on this boat, and I don't
Oh,
see a
yeah.
shower.
Paul's been out there for a long time. I'm pretty sure
Uh-huh.
showering's not as on his to-do
Yeah,
list.
nope. He's got a nice, like, layer of grime on him, and I'm like, which adds to his creepiness. which is nice, but also ew. I was sad that Denise died that way because, I
Yeah,
mean, I feel like she deserved a better death.
yeah. Like, other than Cerrone leaping up and wrapping his legs around her neck.
No, it was a good kill. It
Yeah,
was a
but it
sad
was
death.
yeah,
She needed to fight a little more. She needed to get something. It was just kinda like her half threatening him.
yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a full threat. Like, she didn't even, like, cut him at all or anything. It was
No,
just
didn't even get to do anything.
yeah, it was kinda sad. I was like, "Oh, girl."
The Anaconda returns and Westridge distracts it long enough for Terry and Danny to return to the boat while Westridge ascends the waterfall. Cerrone breaking free during the attack and attacks Danny. The Anaconda climbs a tree and attacks Westridge, but the tree
Mhm.
snaps. The crew winds up in the water. Kale wakes up in the process, and Westridge is killed in the fall from the waterfall. Not exactly how that happened. Okay, Westridge
No.
hides behind the waterfall,
Yes.
but the anaconda is like, I see you, and
Yes.
comes
Then
into the water.
he jumps out of
Yes.
the waterfall, and the anaconda catches him midair,
And
which I thought was cool.
if you don't have a kid or someone smaller than you that you can overpower, that's all you really can do. It's just jump.
Please
Um,
please stop offering up the little people for your safety.
yeah, why does dad make us walk in front of him when we go on these adventures? Um, so I jump. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Yeah. And this was the first CGI coiling up that didn't look that bad.
true, but I think
Did
it's
it look
because
perfect?
it was far away, like, we weren't
Ye
super close to the coiling, so
Yes.
I appreciated that. It didn't look as I don't wanna say junky clunky, that's the word.
Clunky. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
and this was in, the midair, and it was cool looking, and
yeah,
we have it in our '90s intro or outro. I'm not 100% which one, but yeah, we use that, snake grabbing Westridge there. The snake attacks Danny, but Terry shoots it in the head. Cerrone, still believing he can capture the snake alive, attacks her. Kale stabs him with the tranquilizer dart before losing consciousness again himself, and Danny knocks Cerrone into the river. And then the dart is floating around, and they're like, "Oh no, it's not enough winning. He's still out there."
yeah.
Cerrone eventually catches up to the group and captures Terry and Danny. Okay, it kind of misses a bit here again. They go down the river. Now it's just Danny, Terry, and Cal, who is unconscious again. They come
Yes.
across like an old factory or plantation of some sort.
Yeah.
Decide to go in to see if they can find some fuel. They notice something bad had happened there with broken guns and the buildings busted to shit.
Mhm.
Um, they missed all the anaconda statues around the
Yes.
entire place. And then Cerrone appears and knocks them out.
Mhm.
Cerrone eventually catches up to the group and captures Terry and Danny, dumping a bucket of animal blood, monkey blood. Doesn't like monkeys.
Oh, but he announced, "Not just blood, monkey blood."
Monkey, yeah, yeah, in one of his many accents. And he's using them as bait for a second, much larger female queen anaconda measuring 40 feet, 12 meters.
Mhm.
I don't know why that's in the plot, but yeah, it was a much bigger snake.
It was.
Yeah, I had a note. This guy loves killing monkeys. The snake attacks the pair, slowly suffocating them. Cerrone attempts to catch the anaconda in a net, but it breaks free and attacks him, eventually swallowing him whole, while Terry and Danny watch as they escape their bonds.
Can I point out the interior snake,
The
effect?
POV from
Oh
inside the
my god,
snake,
was
that was
so
cool.
cool.
That was
I was
cool.
like, "Oh god, that looks good." Like, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, and Cerrone tried to fight back. It wasn't as good as remember Mr. Warwick from Graveyard Shift when he
Mm,
fought the big giant bat rat? But you could tell Cerrone was trying to break free.
yeah. It's kinda funny.
Now, Cerrone didn't really go out like swinging, and but he was a more like he was trying to get away. He tried to get up the ladder. He didn't
Yeah,
try. Yeah, but yeah, his it was a great death scene. Best
it
of
was
the
so
movie.
good.
You could hear the bones crackling, and you could
Yeah,
see his cheek, just kind of jaw, kind of. It was good, and
it
the
was good.
inside of the snake was pretty good
Yeah,
too. And then seeing when they show them looking over and they see his feet kinda
yeah.
kicking as it's swallowing him, yeah, that was a great scene. I think I like talking about it better than I like watching it.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
The anaconda gives chase to Terry, who retreats into the building and finds a nest full of newborn anacondas. They blew up a bridge earlier, for those listening, tons of snakes all over the boat. Then Terry, Jennifer Lopez, finds this nest, a ton more snakes, and ugh. The snake regurgitates the still alive but partially digested Cerrone and chases her up a smokestack. I guess he was weighing the snake down.
Yes, but can we point out that he winks
Oh,
when he gets regurgitated?
so awesome.
I was like, "Oh god."
I made a note. The fact that when he's regurgitated and he saw Terry and winks at her
I was
was
like,
just awesome.
I was like, that makes me I was like, "Oh shit, is he gonna keep going after her? Is he gonna keep, like, being a problem? What is happening?"
That would have been horrible. That would
Yes.
yeah, that I don't think I would have liked that. Yeah, that would have sucked. This was kind of like a wink, like I told you they were dangerous.
I
Like,
feel like the director at every take was like, "Don't wink."
yeah,
And John Voight was like, "No,
no, my
Cerrone would
character,
wink."
he'd wink.
So he just kept winking, and so they had to use a
Yeah,
winking shot.
and I'm glad they did. I'm looking ahead here, just glancing at it. It is missing some stuff. Danny pins its tail to the ground with a pickaxe and ignites a
Mhm.
fire below the smoke shack, setting the snake on fire. Okay, so Terry climbs that silo
Yep.
and gets out the top after wrestling with the lock and then closes it. The snake gets free of the pickaxe and bursts through the top of the silo.
Yes.
And then Ice Cube's like, jump. And she's like, I can't jump. And he's like, jump, bitch. The snake's going to get you. And she finally does. I would have, you wouldn't even have to say it. As soon as that snake came out,
I
I'd
don't
be
yeah, but I don't know
gone.
if she jumped or she got thrown because it was after the explosion.
Oh, she might have gotten thrown.
Like, she was still holding on, and then it exploded,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
then
She
she was
might have
like,
got thrown.
"Ah!"
And then you see the snake on fire going
Yeah.
down. The resulting explosion sends the burning anaconda flying out of the building and into the water. As Terry and Danny recuperate on a nearby dock, the anaconda resurfaces, but Danny kills it with an axe to the head. Yeah, it comes right up through the dock,
Yeah.
screaming. And if
I'd
you're
like to point
listening to
out,
this, yeah,
Danny is the only one who seems to want to leave.
yeah,
Terry just keeps sitting down and, like, holding on, and she's in no rush, and it really irks me.
yeah. Like, have you not been following the movie, Lopez? Like, it's snake's not going to stop.
Yeah, I'm like, "You need to have a little bit of urgency, my friends. Giant killer snakes.
Yeah,
Maybe jog?
yeah.
Jog away from the danger."
Giant screaming snakes. 'Cause this thing screamed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, listeners, not Lopez and Ice Cube. They're not screaming. The snake
No.
is screaming. Yes. When you think, and it was because of that trivia, and it got in my head. And every time I heard the snake, because I saw the movie many times, and
Mm.
the screaming didn't bother me. But after the trivia part, I'm like, oh yeah, snakes don't scream. And every time they're screaming, like, so silly. But it fit the movie for its cheesiness.
Well, yeah.
Afterwards, the pair reunite with Kale, who begins recuperating on the boat. While floating downriver, the trio suddenly locate the Shama tribe they were originally seeking, and realizing Cerrone was right, they begin filming their documentary as the movie ends. I would have been like, where the fuck were you guys? Did you not hear that fucking snake screaming? Did you not think something might be up?
No, because the reason why that tribe has survived for so long is because they don't fuck with the snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, they go away from the screaming.
They built a fucking dam to keep the snakes in. They're like,
Yeah.
"No, you guys stay over there." And
Yeah.
then it was, "See, look, see what happens when colonizers show up? Fucking blowing up all the safety. That's what happens. That's what happens.
God, what's this dam doing here? Well, it might be there for a reason.
Blow it up."
Yeah, they probably were like, we put these giant statues of anacondas everywhere. We thought it would
We thought it was a
self-explanatory.
warning. We thought people would read the warning, but no, they just blew up the dam that was keeping everybody safe. It's fine.
All right. Well, that is the movie. Anna, score.
.7.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I'd like to point this out. It was better than okay. I don't think it was very really good, but I think it was pretty kind of good. But it was close to very really good, and it could have been one of those movies that I put into my regular rotation where I'm like, God, why haven't I been watching you? I know why I haven't been watching it.
Yeah.
And there are certain things that drive me absolutely nuts about this movie. A couple little logic problems where I'm like, you know what, a few different direction notes on performance or maybe a few different like setups. It would have been pretty close to amazing. Also, not the greatest. I don't know how to put this. A lot of the performances didn't give me what I needed. There was almost no real sense of urgency, even in like, I didn't get worked up when there was danger from the snakes
Right.
because nobody else was worked up. And it was just, it kind of fell short. But for the most part, very entertaining movie. It was a lot of good fun. The snake kills, for the most part, were awesome. And Jennifer Lopez wasn't that offensive. But oh my God, was John Voight so offensive.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. In all the right ways.
Yes.
So bad. So bad.
So bad. So bad.
Okay, my score. I pretty much got and agreed with all the reviews, good and bad. This is not a good movie. This is not a horrible movie. This is a bad movie, but it was a midnight B movie that was fun to watch. Am I glad I bought it for $15? No, not at all. Especially with nothing on it. Like it would have been easier to swallow. Get it? Had it had special features and a transfer that didn't suck. The best way I can describe this movie is Anaconda is a movie you come across TV late at night after flipping through all your channels for the third time and say, fuck it, I'm going to watch Anaconda. Or you're 30 minutes into searching Netflix and decide, I'm either going to watch Anaconda or I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes searching and just go to bed. This is not a planned movie. Like this weekend, I'm setting time aside and getting some snacks and watching Anaconda. It's not that type of movie. The acting is great for what you're watching as far as B-movie monsters movies go. CGI can be very dated at times, like very dated. But I had fun. I had fun when it was good effects. I had fun when it was bad effects. And I always had fun when John Voight was in full loony. So I give it a 6.
Nice.
Now, saying that, I am now interested in the sequels.
I'm so curious.
The next movie, Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, is the second of the 4 Anaconda movies, and it's ranked higher in almost every rankings I saw than this movie.
Really?
Yeah. And the other Anaconda movies might fall into that Tremors sequel territory, but they all intertwine and climax with the Lake Placid movies that also have 4 movies.
They have 4 Lake Placids?
Well, they have 5. There's one that came out in 2018 called Legacy, has nothing to do with the other ones. The other 3 Lake Placid movies are all related to the Betty White character. And
no idea.
And Robert Englund's in them, and a couple other people are in them, and they all climax with Lake Placid versus Anaconda, with actors from both series in them.
I think I've seen
Not this
Lake
movie.
Placid.
None of these actors are in it.
I think I've seen Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Yeah, okay. So that's the like finale of both series. So I'm
Interesting.
really curious. I might have to watch those.
I'm very curious to see what all of the sequels for Anaconda and
Yes.
Lake Placid are like. Like I'm pretty sure I watched Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
See, I don't think I have.
I feel like I did.
I was a snob for video movies for a long. That's why I never watched any of the Tremors until just a few years ago, and they're great. I love them.
They're so wonderful. They're
Oh,
so
they're bad, yeah.
terrible. So
Yeah,
terrible,
they're
but
so fun.
so good.
Yeah.
I love them.
Now, why I liked it initially, this movie was about a anaconda eating people. I was a kid, of course I liked this movie. Plus it had Ice Cube. That's exactly why I liked it. How about you?
Anaconda eating people.
Yeah.
Also, it was on the Amazon. I love movies and books where the group of people are isolated, so they can't go for help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was why I loved it initially.
Now we hit buy it, rent it, stream it, or skip it. If you liked it then,
If you liked it then, valid to rent, but do not buy.
I can attest to that. After paying $15 plus tax, do not buy this movie. Yeah, especially if there's a couple of yous or like your partner like remembers liking it too. Yeah, it's worth a rental. It's worth
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I feel very comfortable having paid $5 for the rental because I also know it's not something. Because if you said you bought it for $15, I am not gonna watch this another 3 times
No,
in the next, like, year to
no.
justify the price of purchasing it.
I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna continue complaining about the fact that I paid $15 for
Yeah,
it.
but I'm not mad that I paid $5 to rent it.
No, and yeah, and like if you can find it streaming, definitely stream it.
Oh,
But yeah,
yeah,
it's
100%.
if you remember liking it, you can't find it. It's definitely like this was not Deep Blue Sea, which
No.
really holds up very well.
Mhm.
But this is a fun B movie.
It's fun. John Voight is great to
Oh,
laugh at.
yes.
The performances were good. You spend half the movie going, "Oh my god, why are you listening to the crazy man?" It's perfect.
Yeah. Now, if you've never seen it,
Um, I think if you've never seen it, a rental is fine.
yep.
Yeah, I think it's worth a rental, but I mean,
Especially if you're
obviously,
into B movies.
if you're into B movies, if you're into, like, the
This is a
monster
very
movies.
good B movie, mind you. Like,
Yes.
this is not a cheap B movie.
No, they put
It's a
money into
$45
this.
million movie.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into this, and for 1997,
Yeah.
it's top notch. However, it falls a little short story-wise,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah. Not
mean,
much of a story going on, but
God bless. But I mean, it's totally like, if you've never seen it, I could see renting it and not being mad about that. As
yeah.
long as you like kind of monster movie, B movies, you're good to go. If this is
Could
not your genre, don't do it.
no, no. Could it be rebooted or reimagined today?
Oh my god, yes, so much.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd
It would
love to
be
see a more
such a great
realistic,
reboot.
better CGI,
Yeah.
non-screaming snake. And
I mean,
the only person that can play John Voight's character, you'd have to get like Nicolas Cage or someone that would 100% commit
oh, that
to
would
the
be
over the
amazing.
top lunacy. Nicolas Cage could do it. All right. So for the podcast, we hope you enjoyed our review of Anaconda. Please check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or TikTok, or Instagram. Or if you'd like, watch us every Wednesday, 9 p.m. live on YouTube and Facebook. Or you can watch the podcast on YouTube. It's released every Sunday. And if you're listening to this, you can listen to us every Sunday, wherever you got this podcast. So thank you for listening to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Until the next movie we remember liking.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking,